Hello everyone, I am going to discuss the answers of section D, Social Science. These are the questions of 2024 at present. I am going to discuss all the answers of section D. These are the questions of the year 2024 to 2025. This is the very first question. Evaluate the role of Giuseppe Mazzini in the unification of Italian Republic. This is 30A, and the question 30B is evaluate the role of Otto von Bismarck in the unification of Germany. So let's discuss option A as well as option B. I'm going to effectively discuss the answers. The answers are as follows. Whenever there are questions of 5 marks, you have to write at least 5 points. When there are questions of 2 marks, you have to write 2 points. When there are questions of 3 marks, as I already mentioned, you have to write 3 points. When there are questions of 5 marks, you are ought to write at least 5 points. Evaluate the rule of Giuseppe Mazzini in the unification of Italian Republic. This is the answer. Giuseppe Mazzini was a great Indian nationalist. He founded the Secret Society of Young Italy in 1831. He inspired people to fight for a united and independent Italy. He spread the ideas of nationalism, liberty, and democracy through his writings. His ideas encouraged later leaders like Garibaldi and Cavour, helping in the unification of Italy. Now I am going to discuss the answer of 30B. The answer is as follows. Evaluate the role of Otto von Bismarck in the unification of Germany. This, this is the answer. Otto von Bismarck was the chief minister of Prussia. He believed in the policy of blood and iron, using wars to unite Germany. He fought these wars against Denmark, Austria, France. Prussia defeated these countries and united the German states. In 1871, Germany was unified and William I became the German emperor at Versailles. I hope I made myself clear. Now I am going to discuss the 31st question. The 31st question also comprises of option. There is an option between part A as well as part B in the 31st question as well. Almost all the questions of section D have two options. You can attempt the questions as per the answers you know very well. So this is the 31st question. Manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of development of the country. Justify the statement. Agriculture and industry move in hand. This is 30B. Justify the statement. These two questions are with regard to geography. The first question was pertaining to history. I have already discussed that. The 30th question of section D. Now I am going to discuss the 31st questions, the 31st question, part A as well as part B of section D. Manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of the development of the country. Justify the statement. The answer is as follows. It creates employment for a large number of people. It adds value to raw materials by converting them into finished goods. It supports the growth of agriculture and other industries. It increases exports and earns foreign exchange. It improves the country's economy and standard of living. I hope I made myself clear. These points are specific and to the point. Now I am going to discuss the points of 31st B. Agriculture and industry move hand in hand. Justify the statement. Agriculture supplies raw materials to industries like cotton, jute, and sugar. Industries provide fertilizers, machinery, and pesticide to farmers. Agriculture creates demand for industrial products. Industries process agricultural products into finished goods. Growth of both sectors create employment and economic development. Now I am going to discuss the 32nd question. The 32nd question is as follows. Explain with examples the role of democracy in the reduction of inequality and poverty. 32B is How is democracy a legitimate government? Explained with examples. I am going to discuss the answers of the 32nd question. The answers are as follows. Listen to me carefully. Yes. So 5 points each are enough. Explain with the examples the role of democracy in the reduction of inequality and poverty. This question is with regard to civics. Democracy provides equal rights and opportunities to all citizens. It introduces welfare schemes for poor people. The government provides education, healthcare, and employment programs. It protects the rights of weaker sections through laws. For example, schemes like NGNREGA provide employment and help reduce poverty. Now I'm going to discuss the 32nd question, the B part of 32nd question. How is democracy a legitimate government? Explained with examples. Democracy is based on the consent of people. The government is chosen through free and fair elections. It allows the constitution and the rule of law. The government is answerable to the people. For example, in India, citizens elect their representatives through regular election. I hope I made myself clear. Now I am going to discuss the last but not the least question, the 33rd question. This is part A of the 33rd question. Explain the differences between public and private sector of economic activities. And the second option is 33B. Explain the differences between organized and unorganized sector of economic activities. I am going to discuss the answer now. Listen to me attentively. The answers should be precise, to the point, and crisp. So, when I am explaining the answers, I expect you to pay attention. Explain the differences between public and private sector of economic activities. Public sector and private sector. So these are the points with regard to public sector, and these are the points with regard to private sector. So when we talk about public sector is owned by the government companies. Private sector is owned by individuals or companies, and the main aim of public sector is public welfare. The main aim of private sector is earning profit. And that this is the third point. Government provides the capital. However, in private sector, the private owners only provide capital. The examples of public sector are Indian Railways, government hospitals, Tata, Reliance, and Infosys. The examples of private sector are services are provided for public benefit. Services are mainly for business and profit. Now I am going to discuss the difference between organized and unorganized sector of economic activities. Organized sector is registered with the government. However, unorganized sector is not registered with the government. Organized sector workers get fixed salary and regular work. Workers always get low and irregular wages. Organized sector employees receive benefits like PF, that is Provident Fund, pension, and paid leave. However, in unorganized sector, the employees usually do not receive these benefits. In organized sector, the employees receive benefits. However, in unorganized sector, the employees do not receive the benefits. And in organized sector, the working hours and conditions are regulated by law. However, in unorganized sector, the working conditions are not properly regulated. For examples, banks, schools, government offices are organized sector. However, the unorganized sector are street vendors, domestic workers, and small shops. I hope I made myself clear. I have discussed all the questions of 2024. These are the questions from the question paper of 2024 to 2025. I have discussed the questions of section D. These are 5 marks questions. If you are asked questions of 5 marks, you have to write 5 points at least. Make sure that your answers are up to the mark and precise. You don't have to beat around the bushes. The answers should be very specific, and there will be options for all the questions of section D. Thank you so much. I will be discussing the questions of section E in the next class. Usually in section E, they will give you passages, and based on the passages, they'll ask you questions. This is a very simple section. Okay, thank you so much. I hope I made myself clear. I have discussed the answers of section D. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next video.